your mantle.
Here's something. Let's see. It seems to be information on Lucia's various projects. There are a lot of redactions here. Seems like someone was trying to hide something. Report, blaming the Verdant Mines for an explosion near the Vale. Supposedly, this explosion was the cause of the plasma floods. But we know it caused by the This doesn't add up.
Should be close to where the scry-carrying caravan might have gone over the edge.
I'll have a look. Good news, Eric.
I can see. That's quite possibly our lost scries.
Will you be able to retrieve it?
Now that we've identified it, yes.
familiar. I'll need to get these back to Lane. See what we've got here. These all seem to be speeches that the... I delivered. These are dated 40 years ago, but I could still imagine him saying all of these things today.
useful.
Bryn, I cannot fathom how you must have felt in that fight against the Surgeborn.
As strange as it is to say, I had the easy part.
Yes. Tragedy about Isla. So much talent lost, wasted even.
So what did we find out? Any big revelations? What's wrong?
This isn't what I expected at all. I think you need to read this yourself.
Well, sure, but... all right. This is one of Lucia's journals, right?
Yes.
I washed my hands of it, but they pressed onwards. He was fully aware of what I taught them, of course. What I'd taken from the Institute. And so, he let it happen. He knew they were going to try to pierce the veil, and now dozens are dead. He knew Vile, broke bread with them. But when they and the rest of the Verdant Minds went off to die, Kenrick just watched.
And now read this. A transcript of one of his speeches, delivered around the same time that journal entry was written.
We will root out these dissenter vermin at all levels of administration. Their ideology has claimed too many lives to be allowed to breathe free. In the meantime, to ensure peace and prosperity, martial law is in effect across remaining settlements. So he let the explosion happen and used it for his own political gain. I wish I could say I was shocked.
It goes deeper than I could have imagined. He sat back and allowed the Verdant Minds to try breaking through the veil. Then they unintentionally triggered a huge explosion, conveniently wiping themselves out in the process. And just like that, the Eye had a scapegoat on whom to blame the cyclical miasma floods. He used panic and fear to secure himself a spot as provisional leader. But everyone eventually forgot that provisional bit. I genuinely didn't expect this at all. I thought I'd find out that he'd just been mildly conniving all his life, not this.
So, what do we do about this then?
We need to confront him. He may not be in charge anymore, but we can still take him to task on what he's covered up.
Wait, what? You really think that will work?
Yes. I'll present him with our evidence, and he'll have to give us an explanation.
I'm open to the idea. But what makes you think he'll want to speak to us?
I'm confident in my powers of persuasion. I may be young, but a lifetime spent orbiting the seats of power in Judea, well, let's just say that I know how to appeal to a politician's better judgment.
Well, I trust your judgment.
Excellent. I'll finish writing this dossier and I'll meet you in Cassidon's Hold. Have faith.
It's not you who I'm lacking faith in. Trust me. Anyway, I'll see you at the Hold.
I won't be long.
Hey, Eric. I'm so sorry for your loss. How are you holding up after everything?
Thank you, but I don't think you want the real answer to that question.
I can't imagine what you're dealing with. Just know we stand ready to assist in any way we can.
Yeah, that's for the best. I've been dealing with casualty reports for days. And through it all, I keep thinking that it could have been so much worse. Imagine if Sev hadn't raised his warning, or if you hadn't piled headfirst into the fight. We owe your band a lot, Bryn. Remember when we were talking about the Eye mobilizing? You said he's doing what we wanted, right?
I did. In retrospect, maybe a bad call.
No, it wasn't. We were playing a game, applying pressure. He responded. Poorly, of course. And even though it went terribly, we get to pick up the pieces now. Not some incompetent bureaucrat.
Something's been bothering me about the loom gates.
You're going to ask how I got to your camp without connecting you to Cassidon's.
Yes. I've been reconnecting all the gates as I discover them.
We developed a way to move through the gates without a permanent connection. When Asylum activated, it severed every loom gate, cut off the Surgeborn, which gave us a huge edge. But the scouts needed to move around without opening paths for them. So, the High Enchanter did their thing.
Is that why the hold's still cut off from the other gates?
It took a lot to convince the Council to even allow a connection here. I can't believe we actually did it. It's been a pleasure working with your band. If we could match the drive and efficiency you all show, this place would be fixed in months.
You've been a support since we met, Arakim. I'm happy to work with you, especially if it helps us recover lost treasures.
We make a good team, Bryn. I'll get the runners on hauling that crate up and let you know when I know more.
I've been reading over those caravan logs you brought in when helping Arik.
A little light reading before bed?
They do help me sleep. You know how important that is. The Enclave had 3 secrets to their trade success. These logs are good insight into how they leveraged that.
And you would very much like to tell me about how they did it, right?
Yes, I do want to tell someone. So brace yourself. So, the 3 keys to their success, right? The first was no wars. The Enclave never fought. Instead, they made it clear with loom gates and the arcs that messing with them was tactically doomed.
So they could trade with everyone, even 2 nations at war with one another.
That was their second key. Unique products. The Enclave was the only place producing their enchantments. Try to declare a trade sanction against them for trading with your foe, and suddenly your foe has an edge you just lost.
That's a deft bit of maneuvering.
Their third key was having access to land and sea trade routes. Renland and Taza both relied on Enclave trade by land. Either one attempting to cut off caravans would provoke a response from the other. And the Enclave's north was unassailable by sea. That's why they built Cassidon's Hold.
Sharing trade knowledge is your happy place, isn't it, Kaz?
Oh yes. And do you know there's another place that's got 2 of these 3 advantages?
Where?
Your home. Calnhaven.
We don't have access to sea trade. And I wouldn't say we're at peace either. But you're thinking of our steel.
Best in the Maida. And you're the only people who know how to make it. Not only that, but while the Empire would love to put you back under their heel, they can't, can they?
No. Because we've started trading with other nations like Renland who wouldn't want to lose access.
That's peace.
So all we need is a port and we could be Enclave the Second?
Pretty much. I'm sure your leaders...
The Adelrad.
Right. Are aware of that. Probably the Empire too. Just fascinating how history repeats.
If we ever get out of here, I'll talk to my mother about this. Show her life on the roads helped me learn some things.
We'll get out. And when we do, you can say a big hello from us all. Hey, you got a sec?
Of course.
Great. Mind if we speak somewhere more private?
Lead the way.
So, there's something I need to tell you.
What's on your mind?
Honestly, you are. And it kind of snuck up on me. I was caught up in my own world before you came along and pulled me out of it. At first, I saw you as a friend, then one day, something just shifted that I can't quite put into words. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I think I'm falling for you.
I have feelings for you too.
You do? I thought maybe I'd scared you off with everything.
Kaz, I fight drakes and worms daily. You'll never scare me off. Besides, you're like the kindest, coolest girl I've ever met. How could I not fall for you?
That makes me really happy.
You surprised me too. In the best way.
Hopefully, we have a long road of surprising one another ahead of us.
We do.
Hey?
Hey, what's new?
Not a thing. Oh, except I don't know if you've heard, but I've got a smoking hot girlfriend now.
She sounds great. I have to admit, I'm a little jealous though.
Oh?
Turns out I have a thing for beautiful but kinda mean quartermasters.
That'll bite you in the arse every time. But seriously, I've wanted this for so long. I like you so much. But with all my issues, I couldn't imagine that you'd feel the same way about me. You sure you're not going to change your mind?
Look, nothing in life is guaranteed, but I have never felt for anyone what I feel for you. When I tell you I want to be with you exactly as you are, you can believe it.
That means a lot. I feel more sure about you than anything else in my life, too.
I'm not going anywhere. I promise.
Good. I wasn't planning on letting you go anyway. You're staring. What's got you in such a good mood?
What? I can't admire my gorgeous girlfriend?
You can. But none of this showing up here just to look at me with love in your eyes. That's too mushy. Especially in front of Aurea. At least come up with something clever to talk about.
Sure. I can find something to talk about. Ah! What made you fall head over heels for me?
Subtle. I guess I believe that the best thing you can do with your life is be in service of others. And that's what you embody. As a friend, as a point, as a leader. Yet, somehow you do it without burning out or putting others above yourself in an unhealthy way. That's very attractive.
That's what draws me to you. How caring you are. And more importantly, how you're learning to turn that care in towards yourself.
I'm trying, at least. I like that you noticed.
Are you worried that Aurea won't approve of us?
No, she thinks it's... cute.
Then why are you worried about her seeing us be cute?
It's not just her. It's everyone. You make me so happy. And I guess I'm afraid that if everyone sees how happy I am around you, then they'll know how devastated I'll be if it doesn't work out. This is still really new. Is it bad if I need to take things slow before I can parade our cuteness around the camp?
Of course not. But just so you know, you make me incredibly happy too. If I have my way, this will totally work out.
That's reassuring.
So, if being mushy around the caravan isn't ideal, tell me what you'd like to do when we have some downtime.
I'd love to. It's dumb.
Now you have to tell me.
Stargazing. When I worked the shipping lanes, I learned a lot about navigation by the stars. Maybe it'd be fun to... I don't know.
Kaz, nothing would make me happier than a date by starlight with you.
Oh, I think it would be so peaceful.
Tell me about yourself then. What's the happiest memory from your childhood?
It rained a lot in Dunbrennig, so we didn't do this often. But on the rare sunny days, my mum took me to the beach. We'd both bring books and blankets to spend the day reading on the hot sandy coastline.
That sounds lovely.
It was.
Unfortunately, your adorable face has left me speechless.
Oh, gods. I'll meet you in your tent later. You can stare all you like then.
Looking forward to it.
Ridiculous! The Stanilds have been receiving the rite of ashes at the Hallowpire Rise for generations. That Hiram doesn't want to send a mourning party is an insult to her memory.
That's not fair. You know Khan Otame would love to give Isla.
Don't say her name.
All I'm saying is the Axel lost someone too. You don't need to make this harder on her.
And who, pray tell, is working to ease my pain? The answer is in the silence. No one. Why do I feel as if I'm about to have my time wasted?
Please allow me to present my research. I promise it won't take but a moment. I've compiled a dossier concerning an event that occurred in the Enclave around 35 years ago.
And what event would that be, pray tell?
The attempt to pierce the veil. I can only assume you were familiar with the Verdant Mines.
The name rings a bell, though it's been decades, as you said.
They were the subject of many of your speeches. It's interesting that your memory on the subject is hazy.
You'll forgive me for not remembering the exact wording or subject of any of the hundreds of speeches I've delivered throughout my career.
That's not a problem. I can summarize my findings. Firstly, our evidence suggests, with a high level of confidence, that you were aware of the Verdant Mind's plans to pierce the veil. Secondly, in support of that assertion, you gained this knowledge through your close relationship with the enchantress known as Lucia.
I never knew any enchantress by that name.
That's odd, since you seem to have been a recurring character in her personal journals. Though, truth be told, she didn't seem particularly fond of you in the later entries. So, back to the attempt to pierce the veil. You knew...
I knew that it would go poorly.
You knew?
Of course I did. But what does it matter?
You could have stopped it.
But I didn't. Pray tell, Lawkeeper, what goal did you hold in your mind as you traveled here?
I wanted to learn the truth about the past, to uncover what had been hidden.
Lane Free Selectus. That's who you are, yes?
That's correct. Though, I'm not sure how... never mind. But my research...
House Lectus of Judea. It's no wonder you felt the need to make something of yourself. Well, today will not be that day. Nor, I believe, will any. I won't waste my breath debating a jumped-up little snot from a house so consumed by cupidity that it can't even keep its hearths lit. Once a failure of a house, always a failure of a house. And it shows in your insipid rag parading as research.
Did you just call me a jumped-up little snot?
No, I didn't. You must have misheard me.
I...
Will that be all from you? I have a daughter to grieve, after all.
Skies! That is enough. Lane deserves better than this disrespect.
You dare to speak of respect? You, who broke into our home, who undid asylum, who attempts to destroy decades of societal progress.
I won't even address that. Your manipulation and arrogance are deadly. And I see your bare shoulders as proof.
Get out!
Bryn, thanks, but it's not worth it. I need to go.
Skies above. I was worried this would happen.
You certain?
You mentioned you were in charge. Does that mean you're the new eye now?
So the council is larger than just the 3 main representatives. As you heard, we convened and unanimously agreed that Kenrick had overstayed his welcome in the role of the Eye. So he's been stripped of that, and by default, that means I'm in charge. Emergency authority. Am I the Eye? No. And nor do I particularly want to be right now. But when the time is right to hold elections, we'll do so. We need to break this cycle.
What cycle do you mean?
Council seats weren't permanent before the surge. That idea was Kenrick's. And it's clearly not worked out for us. So again, once we've solved this crisis, we'll chart a new path. Assuming we survive. After all, we could all be dead this time next week.
So, you and Casmin?
Yeah. What do you think?
Your strengths complement each other. I'm happy to see the two of you happy.
Thanks, Lane. I really appreciate that.
Make sure you ask her about how she organises her socks. She's got a system, a detailed one.
Thanks for the tip. I'll get right on it.
I can't even begin to explain how I feel. This is a disaster.
Did I make it worse?
No, not at all. Not for a moment. You were very kind and strong and supportive and courageous. It reminded me of why I left.
Home.
Everything back there was all about your house. Your actions or intent never mattered. And when I tried to forge a different path in life, the knives came out. I had no real choice but to leave. I thought I had left it all in my past, but now, here we are.
For years, no matter how hard I trained, my last mentor, Aaron, told me I wasn't strong enough to be a point. When he eventually named one of his friends, Aram, the Weaver Band's new point, I was gutted. Even though he had no training, Aaron tried to convince me it made sense. Aram is just physiologically stronger than me. Of course, I took the first chance to get out after that, just like you did. But until then, as much as I tried to ignore what Aaron was saying, a part of me was afraid he was right. Sometimes, when you're told the same thing over and over, you can't help but wonder if it's true. So, what I'm trying to say is that this guy has found his way inside your head. But that'll pass, and it doesn't reflect on the quality of your research.
I appreciate that. I'll try to internalize it. But for now, I think I just need to consider my next moves. It might take a while.
Take all the time you need.
Thanks, Bryn.
Teams are already working on the recovery of that chest you found.
Think we'll get lucky and it'll be the Scries?
I'm allowing myself a glimmer of hope. All the research we did says it's possible. Oh, hey. I heard about you and Casmin.
Yeah. We're really happy.
So, she's doing okay, overall?
Had a rough spell, but she's doing so much better.
I heard the outline of it, but didn't want to pry. I'm really glad to hear she's good and that you're happy.
Strand. Happy to weave that into your mantle.
I spoke to Lane about us.
Looking to pry some secrets from a friend about me?
Not exactly, but they did tell me to ask you about your socks.
Now that's a true friend teeing me up for a chance to brag. To start, I have an impressive sock collection that is years in the making with different patterns and materials from across the Maida. Storing each pair individually is a waste of space, so I categorized them into compartments as neatly as possible by nation of origin.
I have to admit, I expected something more complicated.
I'm not done. They're sub-sorted by pattern, and then sub-sub-sorted by fiber, and then sub-sub-sub-sorted by comfort.
There we have it.
Point is, this system is infallible and will be my legacy.
So, are you saying I can come borrow socks when I need them?
Absolutely not.
Perfect pair.
I think you and I are the only ones here who can swing one of these. Oh, and Sev.
The spindle sacrificed everything for us. We could have lost Ben just as quickly.
Form and function.
How did he know? Lane, are you alright?
I'm just rattled. I never told you, or anyone else, my full name. Not because I didn't want you to know, or because I thought you'd judge me, just that I'm allowed to hold information back.
And the eye threw it at you like he'd known you your whole life.
Yes, and he accurately described the state of my house, too. Which is not a secret, particularly, but...
At least we know who told him.
I'm not following.
It couldn't have been anyone but Sev, right?
Oh. I feel so stupid.
We know that the eye was able to apply a lot of pressure on him. That doesn't make it okay. But maybe knowing what happened helps.
Usually I would agree. But this one was quite a shock. I feel as if I've turned up to a knife fight armed only with a wet sock.
We'll come more prepared next time. You couldn't have known.
True as that may be, it's the sense of betrayal that bothers me most. I know we've chosen to forgive him, but...
Maybe it's worth talking with Sev?
I don't think so. Sorry. Not right now, I mean. Too fresh.
That's fair. Keep it in mind, though?
I will. There's much to reflect on, as always. Thanks for listening.
Starlight Cape. Finally, a real mountain!
Hey.
Hey.
How do you feel?
okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Blaine will probably never forgive me. For that matter, I might not either.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. How could it not? And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. I had a speech planned, but you don't need a speech. You're like me. It'd ring false. So I'm going to tell you what I'd need to hear after something like that. You did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
You're right. I think that was what I needed to hear. Thanks, Aurea.
You deserve it. You've come so far in here. We've all had to adapt. But you more than anyone. Look. I know you, Bryn. You're made of stern stuff. You've the mountains in your bones. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snowfall. Temporary, and it'll slide off soon.
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that doesn't make it less true.
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on what we do next? We obviously need to deal with that beast. But where to start?
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want you to call the meeting.
Me?
Yes. You.
Do you know what's amazing?
Tell me.
Digging into the past and salvaging relics that change your understanding of everything we do. Maybe this is old hat for you, because you've been free to do it for so long.
I haven't been doing it that long, but I can't imagine it will ever get old.
Well, good. So, our relics of the day are those scries we recovered, which work very much like yours, which demolishes my original bet on ours having been affected by this surge somehow. My best guess now is that they're working so well because they were packed up so tight. I floated the idea with Dharm and he was pretty into it. Want to join me in following up?
Oh, don't need me to do the asking this time?
No. I'm getting the hang of this.
Anna sacrificed everything for us.
Still can't believe she's gone.
Her death could have been prevented if... Never mind. I can't even go there right now.
It's good you're here, Bryn. We have a mystery to solve.
A scrinundrum. Ah, no, that doesn't work.
Scriddle?
Ah, damn it. That's so much better.
You two are fun. To business, though, what we need to really work on the scries is a new set of the tools I use to maintain ours.
Do you not have them?
Lost in our mad dash through the veil. I hadn't felt the urgent need to replace them just yet, but if we're to compare and contrast our three classes of scry, we'll need them.
We haven't needed these tools until now?
Like most Enclave enchantments, the scries are incredibly durable. I normally maintain ours every few months. We had more pressing matters at hand, until this mystery reared its head.
What exactly do these tools involve?
They are so very fiddly. Small optics for examining the casing, tiny enchanted ones to target the patterns that form the images and keep the sound clear. That sort of thing. Like tuning an instrument.
Could we not borrow some from Arek's people?
I tried. I would consider their tools insufficient to our needs.
He's saying they're bad.
I'm saying they're bad, but politely.
This is usually the part where I find myself wrestling a giant lizard or something. So you might as well just tell me now.
Bryn, you never fail to cut to the heart of the matter, but I have good tidings. We need you to pick a flower.
A flower? That's it?
Not quite. It's from a plant renowned for its magical sensitivity called Mirian's Bloom.
And the tricky part, Dom was telling me, is that it can't be moved via any kind of teleportation. No loom gates and such.
Indeed, and complicating matters, it withers very quickly once picked. Lane and I can stabilize it, but we'll need our workstations here to do so, which means...
I'm going to have to run.
Pretty much. Sorry about that.
I'll just stretch extra. Do we know where I can find some?
Yes, in the swamp not too far from here, on the other side of the hollow.
Sounds like a plan. Here goes.
Good. Now move. We'll be ready.
She's got this.
Did we?
Yes. Oh, we're good. Excellent work, everyone. We'll get this over to Solar, Bryn. She'll be ready for you whenever.
Sword and ball.
Before you ask, the answer is maybe.
About the scries? You know?
Of course I know. In this role, I can't afford to be oblivious to one of my colleagues sneaking about. And while well-meaning, Arakim is about as stealthy as a glass tail on rice paper. Which brings me to my question. The answer will tip me from maybe to yes or no. Why are you here and not him?
Khan Arteme, you know Kenrick's temper as well as anyone. How many times did Arakim get punished for daring to step out of line? He has incredible intentions, and will do anything to help your people. But you need to build his trust and confidence.
Let me come again to the point. Why you and not Arakim?
Honestly, I don't think he knows how to ask.
It's as simple as him asking me. I am not Stanhild.
No, but you have to prove that to Arik as much as he has to prove himself to you. That was the lesson I learned from Oria. The best leaders are mentors and meet their people halfway. That's what Arik needs from you.
An interesting point. I suppose he did not receive much support. Well, ever. Very well. You have my approval. I shall be watching very closely to see how this proceeds. And fair winds. I hope you can find your answers. I just wish Isla were here to help.
Let me guess. You've come to ask me to apologize to your naive lawkeeper.
No.
No. Isn't that what self-proclaimed heroes do? Demand justice for your friends?
I would never ask Lane to waste their energy on a conversation with you again. Do I think how you spoke to them was a disgusting, brutish display? Absolutely. But justice doesn't come with an apology from you, does it?
They attacked my legacy. I merely put them in their place.
Exactly. Without remorse, an apology would just be posturing. No. Justice is served in the way Lane still chooses kindness every day, despite people like you trying to tear them down.
Their research tore me.
Justice is served in the way Lane gets to continue living as their wonderful, talented self. Whereas you have to keep living as yourself. As someone who is clearly in so much pain over his own existence, he needs to make other people feel small, so he can look big.
I am far too exhausted to beleaguer this issue.
So we agree. There is no need for you to ever speak to or about Lane again.
I suppose we agree on that.
You're going to speak to the Talon?
I don't expect to get much out of it, but yes.
Be careful. Clearly the Talon was able to manipulate Kenrick. And while I know you're not the idiot he is, speaking to that thing is risky.
I just have to find out what I can. If the Talon has any insight that can help us.
It's a risk worth taking, I know. Just don't reveal anything in the process.
What did we learn about the scries, fellas?
Nothing good, unfortunately.
You know how all enchanted things use woven patterns to achieve their effects yet? Well, the scries used here for decades were warped. There's no other way to describe them.
Some sort of corruption or decay?
Not exactly. More like elements had fused or connected in different ways than were intended by the enchanter.
I take it that's not normal.
Darm's never seen it, and I asked the High Enchanter, and he had never heard of it either.
Even more worrying is that the Mirian's bloom also behaved strangely while we were trying to distill it. Normally there is a very rote set of steps, but it took Lane and I several tries to find the proper alchemic ratios to make it useful.
And then we have the Spitfires, acting more aggressive than normal, nesting in odd places. Putting it all together, we're seeing a worrying pattern of unexplained changes.
Ones that would be hard to notice if a certain band hadn't broken through the veil. We can confirm these changes aren't happening outside the Enclave.
Huh. What do we do about it then?
Darm and I have been talking about it and have some ideas. Give us a little bit of time to see if we can come up with a plan.
I'll leave you to it.
I've been running more tests on the bloom you recovered.
You didn't need it all for Darm's tools?
No, thankfully. We had a number of false starts with the alchemical processes, but we had enough petals even then. It does speak to the issue, though. I tried every control I could think of, and can only conclude that the bloom itself is off.
Could it just have been that one flower?
Perhaps. Either way, it warrants further study, but Arakim's offered to help us collect more, so it won't impact you.
Darm and I have been running down the mystery of our alchemically odd plants and degraded scries. We've got a working hypothesis, but we're going to need to lean on you again to prove it.
You're right on top of this.
I have been taking notes from my favorite point. She has this habit where she just drags things forward by force of will.
I do, don't I? There's just so much to do. Why ask permission when the next step is right there? What's led you to the hypothesis?
Darm's been digging into the scry and noticed some tiny changes in yours that he's not seen before. Lane used a few leftover petals from the Mirian's bloom to run more tests. You really have an incredibly talented team here.
As long as I don't have to do any more cross-swamp runs, count me in.
Worse, I'm afraid. We think the source of the problem might be the miasma. Darm's theory is that it's slowly affecting the patterns inside the Enclave.
Our enchantments?
Everything. We've never been able to perceive or harvest them, but there's a school of thought that everything alive has a pattern in it. And if that pattern allows us to interact with and control magic, the theory goes that magic might be able to affect us in turn.
You think we're in danger?
Obviously, tangles are inherently dangerous, but that's the question we want to answer. Could they affect the creatures here in more subtle ways? Could too much magic explain the Spitfire's behavior? If so, we have to worry there might be long-term effects on all of us.
Spirits. How do we prove it?
You've been collecting resonance for all your time in here, as have our enchanters. That data gives us a baseline. What he needs, then, is a comparison resonance harvested during a miasma from any of the natural beasts. Arcs won't help, alas.
Right. I'll tackle it as soon as I can.